I am Moratto. I'm the Director of Brand Content Strategy for Modern Salon, and I have the pleasure of sitting across from my friend, Wren. You probably know him as Mr. Wren Cuts. Stephen has been the opening act at one of our Modern Salon boot camps. He was sort of our keynote, kicking us off. He's also a Wahl educator. He educates, inspires, mentors on platforms across the country. And he's going to talk to me a little bit about Black barbershops in history, Black barbershops today, and being a Black barber in his community. So, Stephen, welcome. It's so good to see you.
Thank you for having me, and it's always a pleasure to share any kind of space with you, Ash.
Oh, thank you. And space. Let's talk about Black barbershops in history. What did they represent?
Black barbershops in history represented a lot, like not just a foundational space in the Black community for conversation, but it was also a place for entrepreneurship. Like in different regions, specifically coming out of slavery, that was a place of business. That was a place of pride. That was some place that African Americans can have a firm ground within their area to take care of their family. It's a space to be everything that is needed, right? Growing up, I didn't go to barbershops. My dad would cut my hair and I cut my hair, but there was one time that I went to a barbershop with a friend of mine. I was about 16 years old, and I had always heard about the barbershop and knew that it was a place of reverence and a place that you can go and feel royal as you're getting your crown adjusted on the throne, which is, the barber chair. And I remember going at 16 years old and listening to the conversations and just being a fly on the wall of everybody from different ages and different backgrounds, but just coming in there and being heard and having dialogue, community, and conversation. So at 16, I got a little glimpse of what I had heard about from my uncles and other men in the family that actually experienced going into the barbershop. And this is before I even thought about being a barber.
So today, now, barbershops, you and I are both in an industry where we've watched the explosion of barbershops, but they've never gone away. They've just evolved. So how do you describe kind of the barbershop experience today?
Today, yeah, you hit the nail on the head when you said the barbershop has evolved. And there was a time, with the perspective of the barbershop, the barber industry, was that it was a hustle. It wasn't a profession where, like I spoke briefly earlier, like it was a place of reverence and pride to say I was a barber, I owned a barbershop, or I'm going to spend time at the barbershop. But then there was a period of time when I think that professionalism went down across the board. It was viewed as a hustle and not really a career. I think over the last maybe 15 years, that perspective has changed so much to the point where I have so many clients, and I know other people can speak on it, that are saying, I want to be a barber now. So the present state of the barbershop is back to what I think it was years ago, a place of community, a place of respect, a place of professionalism, where we're not just barbers, but we're not just barbers or we're taking care of hair, but we're taking care of the people. And that's a major part of it.
And how have what you've done, well, first of all, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about what inspired you to become a barber, but also how does the work you do help to contribute to that evolving view of barbers and barbershops?
So I became a barber at a career change. So about 30 years old, I went to barber school, but I did cut my own hair and I cut my friend's hair in high school. Nothing professionally, I just knew how to cut my hair and I knew how to do a couple of simple things. And fast forward to later on in life when it was time to figure out what I'm going to do with my career, because I was having a hard pivot. I looked at the numbers of what I was making per hour in the job that I had and the cost of a 30-minute haircut. And that math was mathing for me. So I figured I'm going to get into this barber profession for financial reasons. Like, that's what I wanted. It was like, I can make a living as a barber. But what I fast found out was that it was so much more than just cutting hair. And
Yeah. Tell me about that. What do you mean?
Yeah. So enrolling in barber school 12, 13 years ago, I was thinking I'm going to cut hair, make money, maybe open a barbershop, be a pillar in my community, and that's it. But I didn't realize that over time, we see our clients, our guests, more than we see our relatives or family members. At this 12-year mark, there are people that have been with me for 12 years that I see weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly. And that's important because I'm a barber that they're coming to see, to complain, to vent, to be heard, and vice versa. It goes both ways. So I cherish that part of the barbershop, and particularly my chair and my guests, that we are here to take care of the community.
Yeah, and that continuity is so important, isn't it? To see those relationships change. So you said take care of your community. What does that look like? I know that you have done outreach in your community. You're very well known in our community, professional beauty, but what does that look like for you where you are?
So I've had the privilege to be within the same area my entire career, from barber school to present day. And that has allowed me to be with individuals on their journey through multiple seasons of their life. So there are kids that are now young adults, and there are people who I was grooming as young adults that are now family men. And to be able to be a part of every single step of their life. One thing that I really enjoy about being a barber, and specifically a Black barber, is when I have a child, a teenager, young adult that isn't confident in their appearance, and they view their kinky, coily hair as a problem, not realizing how beautiful it is and so much that they can do with it, but they just don't know how to maintain it, or they have to get out of that stigma of being told you have bad hair or it's not good hair. So I love those moments when I have those kids, those teenagers, and I'm actually able to help build up that confidence through their appearance. Like, that's one of the many joys, but I really love that one, is being able to give that confidence in their appearance.
It's so important, especially, as you said, at that age. If they're maybe a teenager, everything else is kind of conspiring against them at that age too. So what would you say, Stephen, if you were talking to one of those young men and they said, maybe I'll be a barber?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say?
You know, I get that more and more now, and that's such a rewarding and fulfilling thing to see. Especially I attend a lot of hair shows and events, and some are even there. Like, everything is about planting the seed or watering the seed and just seeing something grow out of that. So for me to be in a profession that I was only just looking at it for monetary gain, and to see how fruitful it is as a career, and to have someone else look at what I do and what others do in a profession that for a period of time it was looked down upon, that's incredibly rewarding.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for jumping in with me. I'm sure you have a busy day, but it's been a pleasure to see you again, and I hope to see you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.